This is what people usually think we have in Scheme for testing, but recently we got something else which looks like this. There is an overview of hierarchy of tests and suites of your project in a tree-like data structure. This is a summary of your test run, which is interactive and live. You can see it as it goes, and you understand the structure of failures and errors. And here is detailed report of every failure occurred during the test run. And you can immediately on it by just going to the place where this failure originated from. A bit of a context. A few weeks ago, we published Surfy 269, a test definition API, but test definition API, while simple and elegant, doesn't give you too much. You need a runner and reporter to actually get something out of it. And here is a sample implementation of the Surfy 269 definition API and the test runners and reporters for it. We have a pretty cool integration into Emacs, which provide exceptional developer experience. But some people prefer to use Vim over Emacs or even run the tests from terminal. We don't judge. People can suffer the way they want. We just make the suffering a bit more enjoyable. So we provide a quite nice CLI test runner that they can use in the terminal during the development or on the CI where you don't want to bring your whole IDE into the environment. And let's start from the basics. Oh, we already have something here. How to get the sample implementation of Surfy 269. It called suitbl, the library called suitbl, and it is a part of Guile IDE RS project at the moment. Later it probably will be separated. But for now, you can just use Gix to install Guile and Guile RS like this. The time machine will take the latest Gix revision and will install the packages from the latest revision of the Gix. After you installed it, you will have IRS suitbl binary in your load path, and you can immediately execute it inside your project. But it seems it doesn't do much at the moment. It loaded 0 tests and executed 0 tests, so not much here. But before we understand how get tests of your project loaded, let's start experimenting with features that CLI test runner has. And the first one, actually it has primary 2 features. It looks exceptionally simple, but it's quite powerful, and I will explain it in a moment. The first one is reporter -r flag, or probably -- reporter will also work. I will use -r for short. We can pick different reporters. RS suitbl -r compact. It doesn't differ too much from this one because we don't have tests yet, but we just have a few reporters built in that you can select like this. But moreover, we can use not only the built-in reporters, we can specify the any function which accepts a message from test runner and act upon it. For example, you can specify the expression which returns a lambda, which accepts a message and formats this message the way you want. For now, we just print the message type, and for now, it's just a few messages happened. Like we entered in a global suite for the project, we left it, we finished the loading of all the suites and tests, and we started the run and finished the run. But because nothing loaded, nothing else happened. So the usual workflow, the pipeline of the test execution: load tests, schedule tests for running, run them, and do the reporting on the way. Okay, how to load tests? This is simple. Your test should be present on the load path. And to do it, we can just set the load path variable either like this, or we can pass to arrest suitable flags for Guile like this, -L, blah, blah, blah. So after minus minus, all the flags will go to Guile executable instead of arrest. But setting an environment variable is also enough. Now we can run arrest suitable -R silent. And we will get a bit of a noise here from Guile itself. And to avoid this noise, we will redirect all stdr to def null, like this. And now you can see that arrest suitable exits with status 1, which means something went wrong. That probably means that some tests that are loaded are failing. And how to understand which one? Probably we need a better reporting, right? Let's see what tests are loaded at all. And here you can see the same tree that I showed at the beginning. And this is all our project tests with all our model suites. And inside those suites, there's some nested suites. And inside those suites, we have the actual tests that will be executed. But which of those tests are executed? Not yet clear. Let's see. For this, we can do the following trick. We can take a look at run plan, and we see that 152 tests out of 52 loaded tests are executed. Okay, and how the execution goes. For this, we can take a look at this summary of execution. It's actually a live summary. If the tests were taking longer to execute, we will see those dots appearing. And here we have a legend, which says that dot means a passing test, F means a failing test, and E means error or exception inside the test. Do we have something more descriptive? We have extended dots reporter, which shows extended legend, which distinguish between passing tests, between tests and tests that have 0 assertions executed, which may be important because usually in test you want to have at least one assertion to assert something. Otherwise, it's a bit suspicious. And maybe your test not actually passing, it's just forgetting to execute assertions for some reason. So it's better to distinguish them. And also we distinguish between failing and erroring and aborted tests. Fail means that assertion returns non-true C value. Error means that there's an exception happened during assertion. And aborted means that the exception happened inside the body of the test, not in assertion, which is a bit more serious situation than error or failure happened inside assertion. So we distinguish them to better understand the structure of execution. But okay, we understood what happens, like overall, the high-level picture. But how we can act on it? Like there is no way to, understand what exactly went wrong. For this, we can use another reporter. Let's call it verbose only failed, right? And now you have a report for every failure, and the report is quite detailed. The name of the test, the outcome, and all the asserts that happened. And here in the report, you can see that it's not only error inside assert, but also it's error inside the test of the body. which is quite serious, so probably we need to fix this test. And to do so, we jump to this file, to this line, as I showed at the beginning of the demo, and act upon it. The same for all other failing tests. Pretty cool, very actionable, very quick, very convenient. So you can adjust the reporting to the way you like it. And now let's take a look at what happens inside the reporting. Actually, right now I executed the same command where instead of pre-built reporter, I use a simple function which prints the events that passed to reporter. And you can see that here, oops, we have events. Sweet enter, sweet enter, sweet leaf. That's probably an empty test suite without any tests. And it repeats a few times, so probably we have a few empty suites. And after that, we enter a suite, and we have a bunch of tests loaded. And after that, we leave suite, we leave outer suite, and enter to another one, enter to the nested one, and load a bunch of tests as well, and leaving again. So this is a hierarchical structure of your test suites, which are getting loaded. And on each this action, you can react somehow in the reporter. Or you can react to the load end message and provide the whole tree or the summary or whatever. After that, the execution starting, we scheduling the tests that we want. I will explain in a moment how we schedule the tests and which one we select for execution. And after that, we start the execution of all the tests. And now you can see the test started, assertion executed, test ended, test started, to assertion executed, test ended, and so on. And for each test, we try to execute all the assertions inside it. Like we execute the whole body of the test. And after that, we finish the run. And we can report some summary of execution or something else. That's pretty flexible how you can act upon this. You can use built-in runners. You can write your own, but you don't actually need to write one-liners in your terminal or in your shell. You can define the reporter inside a file on the load path and reference it like this, or like this. Here you can see. You can just specify this expression. And inside it, you can reuse built-in reporters, or you can construct your own. Okay. In addition to that, there are a few combinators which allow to combine a few existing reporters like this. And now you see we have a tree, we have our dots reporter, and we have a run summary at the end. Reporter every combinator takes a list of reporters and execute every of them. There's another combinator called reporter first, which executes all the reporters in sequence. And if when the first one returns true after the execution, this combinator finishes and don't go further. It's useful, for example, if you want to combine some of reporters, but don't want to repeat the same information if the first one is already processed the message or some other use cases. Okay, we have combinators, we have ability to specify arbitrary reporters. So it's up to you how the reporting will look like. And it depends purely on your use cases. Now let's talk a bit about scheduling. Sometimes we don't want to run all the project tests, especially when some tests takes quite some time. With our IDE integration, we already have like ability to rerun only previously failed tests, to run quick tests first before slow test, to stop running when we occur a first failure and bring debugger immediately and all that. But people who run from CLI probably don't have such capabilities because they spawn the process from the beginning every time, and they don't have this runtime information preserved. But we still can improve the execution time and can execute only specific tests that we want. For example, here we make matching, use make matching scheduler, which matches test descriptions by regular expression. And here I will execute only tests that has macro inside the description. As you can see, the whole tests suite is loaded. The whole hierarchy of tests have been loaded, but only 10 out of 150 tests were executed, which is quite cool. And let's take a look from the other angle on the same execution. Here you can see the execution looks like this right now. Only one zero assertion tests and all other are passing. Very cool. Now let's take a look from another angle. Let's use JUnit reporter. And as you can see, there's a huge XML. Not very human readable, not pretty printed at the moment, but it can be reused by other utilities which accept JUnit XML to provide a better reflection of what's happening with your test run. And let's take a look at another reporter which called base all. In comparison to default reporter, it provides execution information for every test run, even if it didn't fail. So you can see a lot of tests which are passing, but also the information at what happened inside those tests. And as you can see, like for every test, we see every assertion, and every assertion is successful. And we can see the body of what was asserted and how it looks. And we can see it's only 10 out of 150 tests executed, which is quite handy. And we have a few built-in schedulers, which allows you to run only subsets of tests that you are interested in based on their name, based on their model, or some other parameters that you can come up with. And of course, you can implement your own scheduler, and you can specify it like this if this model is on the load path. Let's talk a bit more about some other examples. I had in mind a few other examples, which I didn't mention here. Interesting. Okay, probably I forgot to write them down. But I guess we covered most important parts, that we have customizable reporters and schedulers. We have phases of loading, scheduling, and executing, and of course reporting of all this process. And we have pretty good built-ins, which are very readable and actionable, and also subjectively pretty. At least I really like this tree view. Probably it will look different on your machine because you don't have monochrome icons, monochrome images, but still pretty happy with how it looks. Probably we can improve it and make it even better and more usable, but at the moment it's good enough. So in the future we can break API probably in a few next weeks. So don't rely yet on this on the API provided currently, but in a few more weeks we will freeze the API and won't break in the future, so we will be able to safely use it. And as a conclusion, I would like to say we make probably the best testing library, so try it out. See you.